Hello. This week's vlog is sponsored by Fern. I had this lovely idea of creating a vlog that was inspired by their new Summer 26 fragrance, which is going to be released on the summer solstice. However, the weather has had a slightly different plan for me, which is very appropriate for a British summer, going from an extreme heat wave to just torrential rain and thunderstorms for a week. So instead, this vlog will be a subtle nod to Summer 26. If you're not familiar with Fern, they are a natural fragrance brand that release 4 fragrances a year on the solstice and the equinox. So it's very easy to remember when those fragrances are released. And they're seasonal, so each fragrance takes direct inspiration from that season and uses natural ingredients appropriate to that season. I've been using the Spring 26 fragrance since about March. I think I started using that one. I love to change my fragrances with the season, so I really like Fern's way of releasing fragrances. Here in my hands, I have Summer 26. I haven't opened this yet. It is still sealed. Done everything in my power not to open it. I thought I'll wait and I'll do this actually like not live, but you know what I mean. I'll do this on camera. I've gone through the notes, so I have some kind of idea of how I think this will smell, but it's always very hard to judge when you're just reading notes. Here we go. Always a beautiful sight. So it comes with a cinema ticket, which you can, like a digital cinema ticket, which you can scan, and that'll take you to the film that they've made to accompany Summer 26. And then there's all these other lovely fun bits, which I will show you after the fragrance smell, because I feel like I need to do that first so that I can then experience everything else. So the great thing about Fern is they send you the full-size fragrance, but they also send you a small sample kit so that you can smell the fragrance first without committing to the full-size bottle. And then if you don't want to keep it, you can send that back. So inside here is a diffusing stone, which is made very close to here actually. And then the sample. And a tea, which actually I'm going to brew this very quickly so I can have this with the whole experience. Diffusion stone at the ready. A sample of summer. Oh, why do I feel nervous? Here we go. This is how the diffusion stone looks, by the way. Sorry, I'll do 2 sprays. Oh, wow. It's really not how I expected it to be. Actually, do you know what I think I can smell the most at the moment is the rose and the grapefruit. They're the 2 that are coming through for me. And maybe like a touch of neroli, but I love neroli, so I feel like I can sniff it out in any fragrance. I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit up the full size. Voila. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to spray this on the wrist. Have a sip of tea. Although this might still be a bit too hot. Quite hot. I'm getting a bit more clementine on the skin. This is going to sound strange, but spring was sharp and it was fresh. And this still feels fresh, but it's soft. There's this very sort of like soft, sort of blurry. I know describing a fragrance as sharp and blurry is a bit strange, but it's the only thing that's coming to me that I can actually vocalize at the moment because I'm absolutely terrible at explaining fragrances. But it's kind of this like blur of like clementine, neroli, grapefruit. It's the grapefruit that I think is surprising me because that is quite a sharp scent, but it's really softened by perhaps the rose, or I'm not sure. That tea is really nice. Perfect temperature now. I've just been reading about the fragrance. Each season they'll collaborate with an artist to create a piece of artwork inspired by the fragrance. And then on the reverse is all the information you could ever need about the fragrance. And I promise I did not read this before smelling the fragrance and talking about it. For Summer 26, we have designed a heady citrus floral fragrance which opens with a mouth-watering burst. A new addition to Fern's palette, our Corsican clementine is dewy and glittering, singing of ripe summer days. a cross between sweet orange and willow leaf mandarin. This beautiful note gentles the sharper, tangy profiles of green mandarin and white grapefruit. So I was along the right lines there, kind of, when I was talking about something being softened and it not feeling quite as sharp as I thought it would. So it's not all nonsense that comes out of my mouth. So obviously, if you decide to try out Summer 26, the great thing is that you can just stick with the sample for a few days, have it in your bag, spray it, and then decide whether you want to commit to the full size. Also, what might help you decide if Summer 26 is for you is there's a link in my bio that takes you through to quite a quick, fun, interactive questionnaire. Even though I have the fragrance, I did the questionnaire just because it was quite fun. It's the kind of thing I do. I don't want to read through everything because I don't want to completely spoil the unboxing surprise, because as beautiful as the fragrance is, the whole unboxing experience is also a big part of it. Oh my word.
Let's see if it's flooding outside.
I just finished a really good run. I enjoyed that a lot. Not because of pace or distance or anything like that, because I was listening to some really good music that just kept me going. After rewatching Girls, I wanted to listen to Dancing on My Own by Robin, the iconic ending song for season 1. And afterwards I thought I really want to listen to just more music like this while I'm running. So I went on the Robin station on Spotify. Just banger after banger. Lots of Goldfrapp, obviously lots of Robin, some Charlotte Gainsbourg. Yeah, really, really good curation of songs that just made me feel like I could have kept running for many more kilometres if it weren't for this slightly dull ache in my left knee, which I do need to just keep an eye on that and potentially do a little bit more strength training on my legs in case that is a weak spot that's going to get worse. Yeah, that was great. Really enjoyed that, and the temperature is a lot more bearable now. Look at Susie. Dean is midway through building some storage to go on the left side of the alcove here. This is the beginnings of our guest bedroom. Slowly but surely. This room is a mirror of our bedroom, but in our bedroom we removed the chimney breast and the cupboard, so there's a lot more space. And we kind of didn't think about that when we put the bed in here. The bed fits fine, but because of that, it's a bit of a tight squeeze now to get other furniture in here. And we had a set of drawers in the window here, and then this unit here, which many of you will recognise as the cabinet gate incident, the cabinet that I genuinely didn't think was ever going to arrive, and it was held hostage. Was it in Manchester? I've honestly blanked that whole ordeal out of my mind. Anyway, we had it here, but it's a bit too big. It sticks out too far. It's too high. To be honest, it's too big for anywhere in the house now. I was given the wrong measurements when I bought it. So when it arrived, like the measurements I was given were perfect for downstairs. It was going to be our TV unit. It was going to fit in the alcove downstairs on the left side of the fireplace perfectly. And then when it arrived, it was pretty obvious as I was unwrapping it that it was a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be. So it wasn't like we could even try and squeeze it in. It just didn't fit, period. So it's just kind of travelled around various rooms as we've kind of been doing things up. And then it's lived in here whilst this room has just kind of been a nothingy room, but now it needs a home and it just doesn't fit anywhere, unfortunately. I don't really want a big kind of bulky unit here in the window. I'd much rather have like a chair with a side table or something and just keep it very light and airy in here, because it is a tight squeeze and I don't want things to start to feel like cramped in here. I just want it to feel light and airy. I want there to just be enough in here so that it feels like a comfortable guest room. When someone wants to come and stay, there's ample storage. It's easy for someone to just come, arrive, unpack, sleep with comfort. And I don't think a big bulky unit there is the answer. So I think it's going to have to go to another home, which I'm really sad about because it's so beautiful. But yeah, it's just too big. Anyway, so Dean is making some storage that fits in here perfectly. This will have doors, and then it will be painted the same colour as the walls so that it just completely blends in and doesn't really catch your eye. And then that way it just will feel a little... What have you seen, Susie? Oh, I can hear a fly. What is that noise, Susie? Oh, I think there's a bug stuck somewhere. Anyway, that will be painted, same colour as the walls, so then it will all just kind of blend in nicely. And then curtains need to be finished. They will wrap around. Get something nice on this wall here. Something with a bit of colour because everything is very beige at the moment. Maybe something there. Once that's built, maybe some shelves with some books on and that. Actually, yeah, maybe if we do a couple of shelves and then I can put some nice bits on there to kind of add a bit of colour into the room. But yeah, I think it'll be a really nice room for people to come and stay. But at the moment, it is Susie's room. We have a bed in our spare room. There's still so much that needs doing in here. I mean, don't even have a duvet in here yet. This is just a duvet cover on top of a mattress that also needs a topper and a fitted sheet actually. Anyway, small steps of progress. When we first moved in here, we painted this room in such a rush, and now that we've pulled everything out of here, you can really notice how badly we painted it. It's really rainy today, so actually this afternoon I might start touching up all the paint because it just looks terrible. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about paint or beds. I'm here to talk about beauty empties because, as is often the case, a bunch of stuff is all running out at the same time, and I've actually already repurchased a few of these because I've enjoyed them so much. A few of them are repeats, a few of them are new products. So this year, at the start of this year, I kind of gave myself the goal of moisturising my body post-shower every day, pretty much. And I've managed to stick to that. Sure, there's probably been a few days here and there when I haven't, especially when I've travelled and I've forgotten to take a moisturiser with me. But for the most part, I have committed to doing a full body moisturiser after every shower, and it has made a big difference to my skin. And then at the end of April, I started using this L'Occitane cream. This is the L'Occitane Karité Comfort Ultra Rich Body Cream. My friend Abby Amole collaborated with L'Occitane. I think they celebrated it was either their 50th or their 60th anniversary this year, and they did a full rebrand. And Abby curated like a 48 hours in London trip, and Abby's attention to detail is just 10 out of 10. Like from start to finish, every touch point of that trip was just immaculate. And she brought together such an interesting, diverse group of women. Like it was such a joy to meet new people and just have like a really enriching 48 hours just with like fresh, new, interesting conversations. I wouldn't expect anything less from Abby, but I don't go on many brand trips anymore because the same creators are just invited on every trip. And that's not to say those people are bad or anything. I just don't find that very enriching. I like to go on trips with like new people and diverse groups of people. So it was really, really nice to go on the trip. And it was also very nice to kind of connect more with L'Occitane because prior to the trip, I'd used the almond shower oil, which I feel like is probably one of their most iconic products, the hand cream, the cuticle oil. Weirdly, I've used that several times. So when we were in store, I was having a really good look around at everything, and this caught my eye because I thought, this could be a good post-shower product. I want to eat this. That's how much I love this. It has completely cleared up all of the dry skin on my knees, my elbows, my shins. Like I have seen such a visible change in my skin since using this. Like I wake up in the morning and my skin just looks healthy and hydrated. This is very thick, so I wouldn't do this in the morning, which is why I only really do it as a post-shower body treatment, because you kind of want all that time for it to sink in. It's just fantastic. It is such a good body cream. Very subtle scent. Not strong at all. Not like if you've ever smelled any of the L'Occitane almond stuff. It's a beautiful scent, but it is obviously very strong. And even though I haven't finished it, I have purchased a refill in preparation because it's imminent. You can see the bottom there, and I can't bear to be without it. So this deserved a glowing review. Second is the Mimetique Skin Restore. I don't know if I've spoken specifically about this product, but I've definitely spoken about Mimetique before. Honestly, I've not met a Mimetique product that I don't like. It's very back to basics skincare, like does what it says on the packet, no frills. This is the Skin Restore Face Cream. Firms, plumps, hydrates. Very nice texture, great for makeup base because it's not too slippery, but also isn't completely matte. It creates a very nice, healthy looking skin with enough sort of kind of like slip for makeup to then go on. I also love the niacinamide serum, the cleansing makeup remover balm, and I've just started using their SPF, which is also great. This is now my third tube of Skin Restore, and I've got another one on the way. Yeah, I really, really, really like this brand. Then we have the Medicate Eye Lift Peptides Serum Firming, gel, it's more of a gel. I am really on and off with eye specific products because I'm one of those people that is a bit skeptical about eye specific products. I just always think, well, why can't I just slap a bit of my moisturiser around my eyes? But I have to say the texture of this is divine. Like, it's very fresh, sinks in, perfect for in the day if you're then putting concealer over the top. It's very hard to gauge whether this is doing anything because I've only used one tube so far, and my eyes are very kind of like deep set, you know, like I've got a lot of, I guess I've got bags, or you know, whatever you want to call them. So this is not an area that would ever change from the use of an eye cream or gel. You know, the only thing that's going to change this is lower bleph or filler. Not that I'm looking to do any of those things, but when I'm using an eye product, I have to kind of always think, right, don't judge it on like this area, really. Kind of look more around here. Maybe I need to look at when I bought this and then some pictures of me around that time versus now. But it feels nice. Maybe I don't know if it's one of those things I've got to like really use for a long time to kind of see those effects. So it's one of those things that you just kind of do as a preventative thing, not a kind of, not trying to reduce or turn back time, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if you're someone who prefers a gel texture or a serum texture over a cream, this is really, really nice. And then a tried and tested true favourite, which I'm sure I've spoken about before, is the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask. I have repurchased this because this is always with me whenever I travel, particularly if I know I'm going to have an early morning or a late night. This just helps me look a little bit more alive. It just is some sort of like miracle worker and just makes my skin actually look like it's had 8 hours sleep when sometimes it might have only had 3 or 4 hours sleep. Yeah, it's just a really, really great mask that saves me time and time again. I actually think I'm going to see if they do a travel size version. I think they do. I've been decanting it into a little tube, but it would be handy if I could just get like a smaller version of this as well as a top up of the big one, so I can keep the small one in my travel bag. I think I've also got some hair stuff somewhere. Definitely kept some hair products recently, which I'll find and talk about those slightly later on in the vlog. I feel like I'm the last person on earth to discover just how great a long sleeve t-shirt is, and now I'm making it my personality and it's pretty much all I've worn in this vlog. It's just a great top for the in-between temperatures when it's not quite t-shirt weather but I don't want to wear a jumper. This is the Floor Maggie. Did I mention the last vlog that I'd ordered this? Well, it's finally arrived. I have the Lisette Margot, but that's very slim and cropped, so I've been looking for something a bit more relaxed. I don't believe that the perfect long sleeve exists because I think different fits do different things for outfits. So I'm kind of just looking to add a few different fits into my long sleeve collection. This one's a very just classic, relaxed long sleeve, but it is quite heavy. So if you don't like a heavy top, then I wouldn't recommend this one. I was hoping the sleeve would be a little bit wider. Otherwise, I really like the fit, nice neckline. And I'm looking at, so I've ordered a long sleeve from Ascot, one from Uniqlo, and I'm looking at the new Tekla ones. They've just released a women's fit. Now I've got a Tekla long sleeve, but it's from their unisex sleepwear collection, so it's really oversized. So I'm intrigued by this new women's fit, particularly the grey. There's a really nice grey that they've just done. So I might order that also, and then hopefully they will all arrive by the time I do my next vlog, and then I can do like a little bit of a long sleeve t-shirt review, because I feel like everyone is obsessed with long sleeve t-shirts at the moment, probably thanks to that Margot Robbie airport fit. I feel like everyone went mad over that, didn't they? Anyway, Studio Nicholson belt. This is a new 440 skirt. It's a really lightweight navy cotton. I've sized up to a 6 in this because with skirts like this I need a bit of room around the hip, otherwise they tend to sit a little bit like twisted. I don't get that straight line. So it is sitting quite loose and low around my waist. I'm gonna take it to the tailor and see what he says about nipping in the back a little bit, but I don't want the shape along the sides to change, and I worry that if I pull it in it could potentially, you know, do like that, and I don't want that to happen. So it might be something that I just kind of get used to wearing quite low. But yeah, it's super comfortable, very lightweight. The Row Swan flip-flops that I mentioned recently, that reminds me, next vlog will also have my kind of like vintage slash secondhand finds of the year so far. I'll do a roundup of all of those. Someone messaged me asking if I could do that soon, so I have noted that down, and that will be in the next vlog. Kinraiden necklace, and underneath here is an Agnes cuff. I have just arrived at Coco Hotel in Copenhagen. I'm here for 3 days of design, and obviously the first thing I'm doing is washing my face. I think I said this in Paris, didn't I? No matter what my plans are when I get to my final destination, if I've got time once I've checked in, I will wash my face, especially after I've flown, because I just feel gross after a flight. And I took 2 flights today because I flew from Norwich, which is something I do kind of on and off, depending if the flight times all kind of work out nicely. It sounds mad. So there is an airport where I live. It is a tiny airport. It's the type of airport, it's a bit like if you've ever flown from London City. It's smaller than London City, but because it's so small, you can just arrive. I mean, if you just had carry-on, you could probably just arrive like 45 minutes before your flight. That's how quickly you can get through that airport. So actually door to door, doing a quick changeover at Amsterdam, it's much nicer to fly from Norwich versus travelling all the way down to London on a train, sitting at Stansted or wherever for 2 hours, which is one of my most hated airports. I really, really don't like Stansted, but unfortunately when travelling from London, it is it's the closest one to me, apart from Norwich. Anyway, gosh, what riveting chat as always. I am going out for dinner. I've got about 30 minutes to get ready now. I've just got water everywhere. I've got about 30 minutes to get ready. I'm going out for dinner with a couple of friends literally next door, so I'm not in a rush. I'm going to clean my face, redo my makeup, and then just change my outfit. Go for it, do a scoop. Oh, that's nice and smooth.
I've got plenty of them.
Okay, I'm almost ready to go to breakfast. I'll show you what I'm wearing. I packed for a very rainy Copenhagen. I thought it was going to be similar to how it was at home, and that's how it was forecast, but overnight the weather has completely changed, and now today is on and off sun all day, which I'm not mad about, but I just haven't really packed for sun. I've packed purely for rain, so everything I have with me is pretty much either black, grey, or I have one beige pair of trousers. But yeah, there is not a lot of colour happening in my wardrobe because I just thought if it's going to rain the entire time I'm here, I don't really want to be wearing anything white or anything like summery. There's nothing worse than getting caught out in the rain when you're wearing like white. I don't know what it is about getting white stuff dirty and wet. It's just, yeah. Anyway, so I'm a bit like, okay, I could overheat today, who knows. I'm wearing a short sleeved, I think this is a silk, no, I think this is just merino wool actually, top from Johnson's of Elgin, because all of my other tops are long sleeves or I have the thick wool shirt with me. So this is kind of like, okay, I won't overheat in this, hopefully. Studio Nicholson belt, the row, the cropped Leor trousers, and if I get really far back, white derby lace-ups, and then I'm going to wear a very dramatic trench from Nora Moore. I bought the beige version of this trench, and quickly realised the colour of it was just far too similar to my hair, and I just felt like it wasn't quite right on me. I think with a beige trench it has to be quite warm for it to work on me, and this was a very pale beige. So I sold it, and then I saw that they did it in black, and I was like, okay, perfect. To be honest, I mean, it's not going to show up on camera, I would actually say this is a really, really, really dark navy, but it is listed as black online, but I'm wearing it with black and it kind of reads navy, which, hey, I'm more than happy for it to be navy, but it's big, it's dramatic, yeah. And then a little nod to summer. I actually packed this very last minute in my case. I just kind of thought, actually, I'm going to put all my shoes in here and then put it in my suitcase just in case. And I'm glad I did, because I feel like this just brings a little bit of sunshine to my outfit. Otherwise, I was going to carry black Agnes with me, and I just felt like actually this is maybe a little bit nicer. And then I have Thistles sunglasses. I'm going to pick out some jewellery actually very quickly, but that is it. I'm in a different bathroom because I'm in a different hotel. This trip was planned quite last minute and availability at hotels was low. And I really wanted to stay at one hotel, which is where I'm at now, but they didn't have availability across all 3 nights. So I stayed at Coco Hotel for the first night. And now I'm here for the remaining 2. And I'm very, very glad I'm here because I was disappointed with Coco Hotel. I've stayed there before a few years ago, and I remember the rooms were basic, but they were okay. They had enough amenities in there. This time round, I felt like my room hadn't been finished. That's how little there was in the room. There was no kettle, there was no fridge, there was no phone. I mean, I know phones aren't quite as common in hotel rooms anymore. There was like a bag of popcorn maybe, and a little fruit and nut bar thing, and some glasses. But that was it. Shampoo and conditioner. I just thought this feels almost like too minimal. It feels like they've not quite finished the room. And for the price I paid, I was like, this is not good. If I was staying there for more than one night, I probably would have said something and just sort of asked if this was right. However, it is in a really good location. I know that's not selling the in-hotel experience to you at all, but the location is great. It's about a 10-minute walk from the central train station. There's a lot in that area, so
It's very well placed. But to be honest, the location doesn't outweigh the room experience for me. Anyway, I'm now at one hotel, which is a bit more central. This hotel is just really comfortable. Immediately when I got in the room, I was like, oh, this is really nice. There's a lot of amenities. The bed's very comfortable. It's very decorated in a very like warm, lots of warm tones, warm wood. Really, really nice. Just feels like nice and cozy. A very nice assortment of tea bags, which I appreciate. Yeah, lovely. I'm just thinking, should I have breakfast here or should I go out? This is the thing in Copenhagen, there's just too many places to eat. Maybe I'll have a savoury breakfast here and then I'll go out for a pastry. That seems like a good plan. Oh look, another absolutely terrible angle to try and change my outfit. I have to back up so much for you to see my feet. There is such a big dark cloud now coming over, just as I'm about to leave. But I have an umbrella and I have a practical coat with me. It's very difficult weather to dress for because it's still warm-ish, but then there's an occasional breeze and then there's obviously rain forecast. So I've just slicked back my hair today because I don't want to have to deal with like wind and rain. The thing I worry about most is overheating when I'm going indoors and outdoors a lot. There is that risk of overheating and I don't like turning up to something like feeling a bit hot and flustered. So I've gone for a very lightweight trouser. These are quite old chinos from the Row, probably about 5-6 years old now. Just a plain white long sleeve, Stu Nicholson belt, Phoebe Philo club loafer, because I just wanted a little bit of heel with these trousers because they are just maybe a tiny bit too long for me, so I do quite like a tiny heel to just lift me a little bit. And then the foam trench in the dark navy. I think this will be a good one for today because this is equally as lightweight as the trousers. And then Agnes, and then I think actually, do I take a scarf? This is the thing, I'm just a little bit like, do I need this little scarf just in case? I have brought with me quite a collection of scarves and I'm wondering, I could do the Armani tassel one maybe, or I've got this pleated silk one. Maybe this could be quite nice actually, a little bit of texture. I don't know, I'm not sure. Me and my bad angle are back. I just needed a 15-minute sit down at the hotel because my feet were actually getting really uncomfortable in the Phoebe Philo shoes. It probably isn't helping that I already did 17,000 steps yesterday, so my feet are already feeling a bit delicate. But the upper is fine. There is no issues with blisters or the leather causing any pain. The leather's very soft and molds to the foot very quickly. I think it's just because I'm slightly elevated in these shoes and it starts to put pressure on the balls of my feet, and I've not sat down at all this morning. I've just been continuously walking or standing. So that's probably why my feet are starting to hurt, just particularly a lot of pressure on the front part of my foot. Otherwise, they are an extremely comfortable shoe. They're probably just not the best shoe to be wearing when you're on your feet for an entire day. So I thought, I'm close to my hotel, I'm gonna come and change, because also I'm a bit worried about wearing a white long sleeve top to dinner. I just had this vision of something being spilt down my top, and I thought it's probably best to change. And I also just wanted a bit of a refresh because I'll now be out for the rest of the evening. So because it is actually a little bit chilly today, I've put on the Row wool shirt. I can't even remember what this is called. Is it Sicilia or is it something different? I can't remember what this one was called. I don't even think it has it on the label. Anyway, I just thought this may be a little bit thicker and cozier for the evening. Very old Margaret Howe trousers. These are mango. They are very similar to the Celine ones that I've seen around. They are also really similar to the, I've forgotten the French shoe brand that does Repetto, that's it. Those Repetto ones I have that I talked about in Paris. They're so beautiful and I love them. I actually prefer how they look in comparison to a lot of the other white lace-ups, like jazz style shoes. but I can't do a full day in them. Similar reasons to the Phoebe Philo shoes. The heel puts a little bit too much pressure on the front of my foot for a full day of walking. Otherwise I would have packed them because I just prefer the way they look. But these, surprisingly comfortable because they've got quite a squidgy sole. Same trench. This really saved me in quite a downpour earlier. And just to make it feel a little bit more evening-y, pleated scarf, and then Agnes again. Wow, I really look like I have just woken up from a nap, don't I? I got back from Copenhagen last night and I've been catching up on a lot of things today. Sat on the bed and Juno came up onto my chest and I thought, right, let's have a nap together. So now I've got that foggy post-nap feeling. I'm now putting the vlog together and I'm terrible at vlogging when I'm traveling. Like, it's difficult because I want to create content for both here and Instagram, and that literally is, they're two different formats. And when I'm only using my phone, there's so many moments that get missed for each platform. In future, what I need to do is decide on just one platform and just focus on creating the content for that one platform. What is that noise? Because otherwise it's just fragmented across both. Copenhagen was really fun. To be honest though, from a vlogging perspective, it didn't really make sense to vlog it because for me it was more of a, I guess like a networking opportunity, because I've started working with a few more furniture brands this year. It was a chance to actually meet people in real life that I've worked with, and also meet with people I'm partnering up with this year. I've got a few furniture collaborations that I'm really excited about this year. So it was a good chance to meet a lot of people in real life. So actually vlogging it just wouldn't have even been that interesting anyway. So you just got some very fragmented outfit clips and a few other bits. Anyway, I've got to the point in the vlog very early on where I'm talking about that cabinet in the guest room. And I've been thinking about how can I get rid of that quite quickly. And I thought, why not just put it out to you guys in case anyone thinks, do you know what, I could come and get that cabinet, or find a way to get that cabinet from Norfolk in the UK to wherever you want it to go. I think Dean has just started mowing the lawn. I really hope that that's not... Okay, I've just come into the guest room because that was going to create quite a bit of background noise. So the cabinet, I'm looking to sell for £500. I bought it for just over 700 and then had some very high delivery fees to get it to me. Just in case you're wondering how I got to that price. Hello, Susan. Bless her, she's been following me around all day. I think that's your way of saying you miss me, isn't it? Yeah, some pretty high delivery fees. So just in case you're wondering how I got to the price of £500, that is why. It is a beautiful cabinet and I'm going to put the dimensions here. I'm also going to put them in the description box. They are the correct dimensions. So yeah, it can be yours for £500 if you can find a way to get it from Norfolk in the UK. Whether you collect it yourself or organise someone else to collect it. I just don't want the responsibility of organising a courier. I'm not going through that ordeal again. In the next week or so would be great, really great. When this vlog goes live, the day after, I'm going to put something on Instagram as well, seeing if anyone's interested. So you guys are getting first dibs. If you are interested, email me because a DM will get lost, and then if you email me I can send you more pictures of the inside and like the general condition of it. It is such a beautiful cabinet and I'm absolutely gutted to say goodbye to it, but it just doesn't work. Wherever we put it, it's just not working because it's just a little bit too big. So I'm hopeful that someone has a space that it will look beautiful and be perfect for. I think that's all the information needed. But yeah, if you need any more info, then please do email me. This just felt like the easiest way to potentially get rid of it, because who knows, I mean, there could be someone watching right now who literally lives like, I don't know, half an hour away, who's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll have that and I'll come and get it. Yeah, sad. I've put the phone up on top of it right now and I'm just looking at it like, it's so beautiful. I'm very sad to see it go, but these things happen. These things happen, don't they? It still needs another coat of gloss, but look how beautiful the storage is that Dean built, and then I Need to just pick some handles to go on there, and then we'll either put some shelves or just leave it and have another picture on the wall. So this, I think, is the type of thing that Dean will now build downstairs to act as our TV unit. We were looking at the space and we just thought, instead of going on another hunt for a piece of furniture to fit so specifically in an alcove, because in the lounge we have a very similar setup but just no door on the right hand side, and then our TV lives in the left hand side, we just thought, build it completely custom, have a TV bracket on the wall so that the TV can be pulled out and angled slightly when we're sat on the sofa, and then that way we can kind of do exactly the same as what we've done here and just paint it the same colour as the walls, because we're repainting the lounge fairly soon. So it'll be a good opportunity to really freshen up that room, build the storage, paint the storage at the same time as well. Yeah, it's just really... Oh, I've just knocked into the light behind me. It's just really sort of like cleaned up this area. This is one of Dean's paintings, I think. He said about putting it there, but I don't know if it's a bit too small, whether it should go somewhere else. Right, I really need to unpack. Ugh. Are you loving these new chairs? We just got 2 of these Fredericia chairs. They are both for downstairs, but this one's just up here for the time being until we kind of shift things around in the lounge, which I'll probably do over the weekend. But she's loving both of them, aren't you? You sat in the one downstairs while we were watching TV last night, and now you've joined me whilst I unpack. Surprise, surprise, I'm wearing another white long sleeve t-shirt. This one's Lisette Margot. I have had these Scal chinos for over a year and I still haven't taken them to the tailor. I am taking these to the tailor next week because I want to wear them more, but the turn up stopped me from wearing them more because it falls down. And I also don't love the turn up. I think I want a regular hem on them. So I'm definitely doing that next week. I can't put it off for any longer. The pile of things that I want to take to the tailor is getting bigger and bigger, and I don't want it to like get to a silly point. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the vlog shortly. I just thought I'd end it with a little bit of a here's what I'm wearing on this very balmy, it's like 11 degrees today and it's so windy, like it's actually cold. I'm going to put a coat on. So I'll just show you what I'm wearing today and just end the vlog with a little bit of a chat. When I was in Copenhagen, I was socializing a lot and met lots of people I'd never met before, people I had met before, people I'd spoken to online. So I was really exercising my small talking skills. And one of the questions that was asked a lot, it was, what are your plans for the summer? And as a small talk question, I actually really like that because it gets people talking so easily and just immediately, it's a very like broad question, I think. Like it can go down so many different routes very quickly. And before you know it, you could be talking about something that you never thought you'd be talking about with someone you've only just met. I just think it's a very good question. Hey, hello. And it got me thinking about what our summer plans are. And I thought this could be a nice little chat to end the vlog. I'm just going to try and put my coat on. Yes, I'm about to put a coat on. It is mid-June and I'm going to put a velvet coat on. But this is kind of a sneak peek of one of the items, one of the secondhand items that I will show in the next vlog. This is a very limited coat that the Row did in 2022. It wasn't a runway piece. It would have been one of those like collections that sits in between the runways, like an autumn piece. And I've been searching for this for a very long time. I have a great story to share in the next vlog as to how I found this coat and eventually got it. But you'll have to wait till then. But yeah, a velvet coat in June seems absolute madness, but I actually kind of like these like random days that you get where you can wear a coat again, particularly when it's such a beautiful coat as this. It feels quite different to what I would normally wear because it's so fitted, but I think because it's velvet, it's quite nice that it's fitted. Anyway, I digress. So I thought, yeah, I'll just talk about my summer plans, or our summer plans, sorry, not just my summer plans, our summer plans, Dean and I's, and then if you'd like to share yours, I'm quite nosy, so I wouldn't mind knowing what other people are up to this summer. So we've already
been on a trip outside of the UK this year. We went to Menorca for my birthday in May, and then we have one more trip outside of the UK planned in August, to Ibiza for a family wedding. It is going to be so hot. And we are extending that trip and going elsewhere to have a holiday together. Apart from that, our plan is to enjoy our garden. We are hoping for a really nice summer here in the UK. We bought a new barbecue. So, and now that we have all of this space finished and we have our dining space, we'd like to host more. We'd like to have people round finally. So, really hoping for some nice weather so we can do lots of barbecues and enjoy the garden. And something we'd like to do more of this year that we tried to do last year, but we just didn't do as much because we were still doing house stuff and garden stuff, is explore more of our area. Norfolk and Suffolk are beautiful counties. And the more I dig, the more I find so many beautiful areas within both counties. And we like walking a lot. So we like doing coastal walks, we like doing country walks. So we'd like to do more of that, just more walking this year, because it's such a nice way to just spend an afternoon, gets us out the house, off our phone, and just exploring more of our area. The footage at the start of the vlog was a walk we went on a couple of weeks ago when the weather was really nice, quite close to where we live actually. And we're finding as we go on these walks, there are so many wildflower meadows around in Norfolk and Suffolk, which is really nice. So we'd like to do more of that. Now that we have Susie and Juno, we don't travel as much, obviously. When we do, we just really make it count because, yeah, we miss them a lot when we're not with them. There was something else I wanted to say and now I've completely forgotten. Anyway, this vlog has been long enough, so it's probably best I wrap it up. These are Arquette mules, which I don't think are designed to go outside, but I have been wearing them outside. And then I thought actually this outfit would be quite nice with a textured bag, but I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not sure what that textured bag is at the moment. Maybe I'll play around another time with bags. But for now, I'm just going to go for my little Porto pouch on the... they do these straps that you can then attach and wear it crossbody or longer like this. Okay, I'm going to go now. Thanks so much for watching this vlog, and I'll see you all in the next one.